friends. It is a bit of a grim day today. We're getting to that point in the year where I'm just not going to see the sun for a couple of weeks, and it just, like, it hurts my soul. But that's just life. We need to carry on, but I figured it's kind of the perfect day for some like cozy plant chore vibes. So that's what we're gonna do in today's video. So maybe grab some plant chores for yourself, like repotting or watering, or like a little hot beverage, and we can kind of get on with things together in a sort of a relaxed, chill way. So far this morning, I have gone around, I've turned on some extra grow lights, the ones in the living room that don't normally come on until the afternoon, because when it's gray like this today, my home is dark. It's still before 10 a.m. so these lights will turn on, so I don't need to turn them on as pressingly, but the ones that come on later, usually I've put them on because I want to feel the warmth of the grow lights, because they keep me a little bit sane as well. I've done that, and then I've had a bit of a walk around and think about some things that I need to get done today. I've written them down in my little to-do list. So I wanted to set up my heat mat zone. The other day I tested out my heat mat and made sure it worked, because I've had my heat mats for literally years and never even plugged them in to see how hot they get. Kind of crazy. But I got myself a temperature gauge, and we can set up a little heat mat section. I also finally want to take my plants from the swap out of that zone. It's been a month since I got my plants from the swap, and they've just been sitting in the box for this entire time. So getting them into like better spots in my home, I think, would be a good idea. I have some plant mail I need to send out, so I want to pick up some begonias, and then I also have some plant watering to do. And you know, things might come up in there that I didn't put on this list, but we can do them all together today. Before we get into it though, I want to say, if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanty content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanty journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around, watch some more of my videos, and subscribe to my channel. If you are not new here, welcome back. I really appreciate it. Let's get out of my pajamas, get ready for the day, and we can get going on these cozy plant chores. Before I get into plant care, I like to start my day with a little bit of self-care, and Foreo have kindly gifted me their UFO 3 to share with you. The UFO 3 is a deep hydration facial device that's clinically proven to smooth fine lines and deliver more effective results than a sheet mask alone. I've been using the 2-minute treatments each morning, and it's become such a nice little ritual. My skin feels smoother, softer, and I've even had a few more compliments lately. So if you'd like to check out Foreo's amazing Black Friday deals, check the link in my description box, and don't forget to use my code 35growing for an additional 35% off almost all of Foreo products, even the ones that are already on sale. That means you can get up to 50% off on Foreo products. Thanks, Foreo, for helping me start my day off right. Going full comfy cozy fit today, because I don't feel like wearing real outside person clothes, and luckily our flat is quite warm because of the kitties. We keep it warm, so I get to hang out in a t-shirt, which I do really like. I hate when I have to like bundle up in my own home. It freaking sucks. Okay, I'm ready now, and we can get started. What do I want to do first? I guess since we're in here, I can water the bedroom plants first. Just a sort of like quick whip round and make sure everything is nice and hydrated. Yeah. Also, guys, I'm tempted to cut these, like the ones that I have on the beams. Like, I like them on the beams, but like they're freaking huge at this point. So like, would it be a bad thing to give them a bit of a trim? I don't know. Anyways, let's fill up my watering can and we can get going with the plant care. Got my watering can, and I do want to note that I am still fertilizing. I fertilize pretty much all year round, just because my plants tend to still grow. Like I said, the heat is on in here, and like I've got grow lights and stuff, and so for the most part things do continue to grow while I am going through these sort of like cooler, darker months. So I do continue to fertilize unless I notice any of my plants are starting to like stop growing or go slower. Also, the lighting here is actually really good. Why does it look so bright? I promise it's not. It's just that I've got grow lights on. Oh, I wish it was actually this bright in this room. It is so not. Also, I really love this angle. I feel like it looks so nice and planty in here. I feel like I have massively like decked out the bedroom in plants again since Cosmo has been able to sort of fully roam in the flat. It doesn't make sense to have this be an entirely like pet safe plant space, just because like what would be the point if he has full access to the entire flat. So we are just going with it, and he is actually pretty good about not eating things most of the time. He actually prefers the plants in the living room for some reason, like especially the ones on the sideboard and stuff. He loves to freaking go for them, and I'm like, excuse me, bro, chill. Like, I'd prefer if you didn't, but I mean, I don't really get to decide. The bitter apple spray has actually worked though to help with that, so we're all good in the hood. Gosh, watering the Pallidiflorum is the hardest because the pot is so freaking tall. At this time of year, I tend to water most of my plants about once a week. Like, obviously it does vary. It depends on, oh goodness, that has been sitting in water. You see how much I actually check my plants when I water them? Okay, don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this, but it is literally flooded. This plant, oops, okay, one sec. It's a good thing that Hoyas tend to be pretty resilient when it comes to watering. Obviously, they prefer to not sit in a puddle of water all of the time, and like, I shouldn't have let it get that far, but you know, I did. And it'll be fine. I mean, the rest of the ones in this zone, I'm gonna check now, are fully dry. So like, it was literally just that one that was sitting in water, so it's fine. I don't know why that one ended up being so full. Maybe I watered it a little bit too much last time, but I am tempted to shift around these Hoyas as well, because I don't need to have this space be a fully Hoya space anymore. Like fully pet safe space, but I don't have anywhere else I can put these sort of like massive trellises in my home. I feel like I'm in need of a big rearrange, like where I change everything up, but that's a lot of work, and I don't know if doing that in the winter is actually that good of an idea, because like, I don't want to muck things up when it's like not the ideal time of year. I don't know, maybe I should just do it and not like stress about it, because I feel like I've made a nice place here for some taller plants, and it's got lots of grow light. It's got 2 mother grow lights on that shelf, and so I've got lots of light. So maybe doing something a little bit more I don't know, I could put some like alocasias there or something. I don't know. There's loads of options and I don't need to decide now. Oh my goodness. Oh, my arm's getting so shaky from the heavy watering can and holding it so far up. Oh my gosh. I'm weak. I've been going to the gym lots, but it's not been helping. It's okay. I'll be fine. I've also been tempted to maybe not get rid of the Acro bar, but move it to a different spot. I don't know, I feel like I'm just desperately in the mood for a massive change. And I don't know what that change needs to be, but like, I feel like it'd be nice just to have something a little bit different going on, you know? Other than like this sort of same. I feel like, at least for the past few years, I've kind of only had one major layout vibe in this flat. Everything else has like everything's pretty much stayed the same, and it's a bit boring. I'm very much so someone who likes to change things up regularly, and that's just not been something possible in this flat. So I don't know, we'll see. We'll see if I'm able to change stuff around sometime. Have I got pests? I mean, it's certainly a dry floppy plant. I don't think so. It does look like pest damage though, so I don't know. It's the difficulty of these variegated peperomias. It's kind of hard to tell what's variegation and what's damage. I think it's okay. Anyways, I'm just gonna leave it. It'll be fine. It's not my favorite plant, so if it ends up dying, like, oh no. That's so bad. I shouldn't be like that. I should just get rid of it if I don't care. Maybe I'll do a bit of a clear out or something as well. Do some decluttering of the collection. It's nearly the time of year for my retusa to bloom, but honestly, I have not been watering it near enough. I think because it sits. Oh, I do have one bloom coming. Okay, exciting. It's not, all hope is not lost. Like I was saying, that I've just been a bit neglectful of this one this year, unfortunately. I feel like because a lot of my other Hoyas bloom in the summer and this one blooms in the winter, during the summer months and the growing season, I don't pay attention to it. Which is bad. I know that's not how you should like take care of plants, but you know, it's kind of like object permanence. If it's in front of me and it's doing something, I pay attention to it. And if it's not doing anything, it kind of gets forgotten a bit, which is unfortunate, but I do have a single little flower in here that might pop out soon. assuming it doesn't get, like, it hasn't been too dry up until now. Okay, let's sort out the heat mat situation. So I got this heat mat secondhand several years back. Like I said, I didn't buy it firsthand. If I had, I probably would have bought one with a temperature gauge like built into it. But because it wasn't, I had to buy this temperature gauge here. This one is from Inkbird. I'll link this and I mean everything I ever use in a video down below in the description if you're interested. If you've got a heat mat without a temperature like thermostat thing, best to get one of these just to make sure that it's not getting too hot. So essentially my understanding is that the thermostat comes with one of these guys, and I plug the heat mat into this, and the thermostat has these little gauges here, these little temperature sensors that I can pop on the mat, and they will keep an eye on the temperature and I think turn the mat off if it gets too hot. So that's what I think. I'm not sure if that is how it works or not, but that's my understanding of the basic principles of it. I think that's how it works. So let me see, because also this thermostat that I got comes with an app, and I got this one specifically because I wanted to be able to like do it from my phone, because I'm such a smart home person. So right now, since I have plugged it in, it is currently heating. It's at 22.8 or 22.4 degrees. You can see that is matched on my little thermostat here, as well as that. That's what that is. And it's gonna hopefully slowly heat up to get to 29 degrees, I think. I feel like that's a good level. Let me see if that actually is. Yeah, so according to Google, it says that the ideal temp is between 21 and 29 degrees Celsius, or 70 to 85 Fahrenheit. So putting it on 29, maybe that's a little bit high. Maybe I'll put it on 27. But now I need to figure out what I want to put on it. I was thinking this would be a good place for Anthurium babies, because I do have quite a lot of Anthurium babies at the minute. So putting them all on here means they'd be able to get the warmth that they need, and hopefully help them acclimate to a lower relative humidity, because you can see in here it's only 64% at the minute, and sometimes we run a dehumidifier in here, and so it can get lower down to like 50 or whatever as well. So let me grab my little Anthurium babies and we can see if this will do. What's going on? Why is there an error? What's going on? Okay, I think that error is that the two probes were too far different, which I don't understand, but you know, we're gonna go with it. So I've popped them both together there. Okay, this is what I'm going for with my final setup. It's mostly just random Anthurium hybrid babies that I have. I will put labels on the screen for what each of them are, because I don't remember off the top of my head. And then I've also included some, like, I think this is a Batman Diascorea in here, and I've got my Alocasia Corms in Fluval in here, and I have popped the lid on because I'm afraid that with the heat mat they'll be drying out way too fast. So the lids are on these, and hopefully they stay nice and moist and I'm able to get them to sprout. Would be good if I could. The one thing I am concerned about is Cosmo, because I know he likes to eat Anthurium babies. He's done it before, I think, to these ones here. And so I wonder if there's something I can do to block him from going up there. Maybe like that. Put a lid in the way or something, just to make it harder for him to get up. I know he could probably jump from there to here. But aside from like literally getting a box and putting them all in it, which I could also do, I could also totally do that. Like kind of like my pawn box. Oh, okay. Cosmo just tried to stand on the camera. Aside from my pawn box and then the box I've had all the whatchamacallits in, the swap plants. Maybe I'll take the swap plants out of that and we can put the box on here on top of the heat mat. And then I could also do away with all the cash pots and just kind of have, like when I water it, I could water it just like fully. I feel like that's a good shout. For now, I'm gonna leave this here so Cosmo doesn't get any bad ideas, because he's a bad idea kitty, if you couldn't tell. But I think that'll probably be the best bet. So let's go sort out my swap plants. I should have a little bit more room for them now that I've taken these things out of things like the cabinet and stuff like that. Okay, so I have taken obviously all the anthuriums out of here, as well as a couple other bits and bobs. I could probably take this Hoya out as well. But actually, now that I think about it, okay, maybe the pictum as well. If I take these guys out, I feel like this guy will love the extra bit of humidity. Come on, focus on that guy. Yeah, it's doing really well. It's definitely got some new growth in there. And then I feel like the variegated gloriosum, which look at that new leaf that has just popped out, would also benefit. So aside from cleaning this up a tiny bit, I wonder if putting them all back in here is actually kind of a good shout. Yeah, okay. And then these guys can be terrarium settings. Oh, but I don't want them to be terrarium settings. I could just leave them in the box without the lid. Oh my god, I am so freaking smart. Aglaonema pictum tricolor is just gonna go in the bottom down here. And then Hoya rotundiflora, I think it is, will go, it can go down here. I wonder actually, maybe I should put my gloriosum down in there as well, so it's like really close under the light. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So just gonna pop that at the back there where my little, sorry, Cosmo is playing with his toy, where the alocasia corms were previously. I feel like that's actually perfect. And then this guy is not gonna be going in the cabinet. I'm probably just gonna put this, ooh, loud. I'm probably just gonna put this on these shelves by where the other one is. My other euphorbias are just right there. I think we'll do perfectly. Okay. And I'm not actually gonna clean out this box because I cannot be bothered to do so. It's just covered in soil, which is fine, it doesn't really matter. But I'm just going to take all of these and pop them in the box. And I'll keep these guys with the lids on, the alocasia corms, because I feel like that makes sense. I'm going to keep the one in semi-hydro, and then this guy can go in there. Okay. Oh, it's really starting to warm up now. It's 27.2 Celsius. Okay, so does that. Does that freaking fit? Okay, it fits. It doesn't look amazing, but it will do for now. And now these are protected from Cosmo and getting heat and a little bit, probably a tiny boost of humidity just because it's in a box like this. But I'm not gonna put the lid on, so they can just be in average home humidity, because that is genuinely what I would prefer them to be. And they're getting nice heat from the mat here, which should be good. Okay, I think this is great. That is what it's looking like inside of the box, but I feel like this is genuinely the perfect option. Also, I just realized that I haven't watered the plants in my rudsta in a little bit too long. These are fully dry, unfortunately. So, I'm gonna give them a bit of water now. And hopefully, I mean, I don't think they've like perked down, but hopefully they'll do a little bit better if they're like, you know, actually watered. This is just a problem I have with this, I think, cabinet in general, just where it's located. I end up forgetting to water it, unfortunately, quite a lot of the time. And, you know, like, it is generally okay because most of the stuff is in no drainage and semi-hydro or like self-watering pots, but it's still not good for the roots to like dry out fully like they kind of have been, unfortunately. I just need to be, I think, a little bit more careful going forward. Maybe set myself a timer or something to like at least once a week come and check on these things, rather than just like leaving them to sit and dry out and like go bad. Not that they're going bad, but you know what I mean. I just don't want them to die. I'm pretty sure it is just because this is in the office and this is not a space that I go in every single day. I need to be more on top of coming in here and doing plant tours when Joe is at work, like today, as well as when it's the weekend and like Joe's obviously not working in here. So, yeah, I just need to be more on top of it. It is purely a me problem. Luckily, I don't think anything is too bad. I know some of these begonias are not the happiest, and I think some have suffered with thrips. I don't think they've got thrips anymore, but the annoying thing about begonias and thrips is they like get into like the middle of the leaf rather than the outsides or the bottoms of the leaves. They're like in the like little tiny center bit, and it's really hard to see them and find them until like you notice more and more damage, and it's just a bad time. So luckily I don't think I see it anymore. I just see like previous damage. So I think we're okay. And I mean, my workwanum is still in here just like doing crappily. It's just not a very happy plant for me. I wish it would stay more upright, but you know, whatever. Whatever, it's fine. Things are watered now. They will all be okay. Okay, so I had some technical difficulties with my mic here, and so unfortunately I'm going to have to voice over this sort of audio and speed through, but I'm currently packing up some plants to send off. I've got a couple begonias that are in semi-hydro already because they're rooted, and I have some fresh cuts in water just propagating. To send off plants in semi-hydro, I find it a little bit of a difficult process, so I like to pop them into cups without any drainage, and I'll leave them to soak in there with a normal water reservoir like I would no drainage for a while before sending them off. But then before I send them off, I empty out any excess water and I will pop a dry paper towel on the top and tape that down. This just holds all of the semi-hydro in, and the semi-hydro itself is probably wet enough, like the rocks hold enough water to like keep it wet enough for the journey. I try to send these out 24-hour Royal Mail, so they'll get to the person within a day or two, and that tends to be a short enough time that the plants seem to be okay with this method. I've done it before and I will do it again, but I'm just taping down the paper towel to the top of the cup here to make sure that no semi-hydro can spill out and the plant is safely in the cup. For the fresh cuttings, I use damp paper towel to wrap the bottom couple of nodes of the cutting. I have removed any sort of really bottom leaves because I find that's the easiest way to prop begonias especially, and so I'm just wrapping them in the damp paper towel and then that in the cling film, and that should stay wet enough for the duration of the journey. When putting them in the box, I make sure to tape down any sort of pots or cups just to make sure that they are sticking in place and they don't move around too much. This box is maybe a tiny bit small for these two plants, but they'll be absolutely fine. I've also popped bubble wrap around the main bit of leaves in this case just to insulate it that little bit more, seeing as we are in the cooler seasons. The cuttings I am just laying down loose in between the two cups, but I think with all of the packing materials that I put in a sec, it should be fine and they won't move around too much. I'm just putting loads of packing peanuts that I have recycled from previous packages that I've received, as well as some bubble wrap for the top. Now we can close her up and get her off to the post office. And it's a good thing I got out when I did because it was 1:50 p.m. and the last collection was 2 p.m. So I got it in just the nick of time to go out today. I also stopped at the charity shop on the way home as well because I love going in here, and I found these 3 amazing, I don't know if they're vases or candle hurricanes or something, but I thought they'd be perfect for no drainage, so I got all 3. Okay, unfortunately we are still mic-less here, but since I got those no drainage containers, I really wanted to put some new stuff in, so I set up my area and pulled them out. Look how perfect they are, and they just look so good together as well. I'm so excited to put plants into these. I've got a couple different things. First off is this Alocasia Black Magic. You can see the leaves are grown out a little bit. It's a little bit leggy, gorgeous but leggy, and the stem, it's got loads of space for roots to grow in, so having it in a taller vessel like one of these will be perfect. The other one is my Aglaonema Pictum Tricolor, and I'm putting this in semi-hydro because I've heard it's a little bit finicky and quite thirsty, and so I feel like it's just a good place for it to be. Also, it was super root bound, so it was basically begging for a repot, so I can oblige. When putting things in a new drainage, whether it's from semi-hydro already or from soil, I like to put a layer of semi-hydro at the bottom just as a buffer so the roots that it has aren't sitting in water from the very start. For this one, it doesn't really matter because it's been in semi-hydro, so these are water roots already. Look at them, they're beautiful. But if you're transferring from soil, it's a little bit more important. In this case, I really wanted to get a lot of semi-hydro around the edges, so I used this little trellis to kind of poke the semi-hydro down as gently as I possibly could because I didn't want to damage the roots that were already in there, but also get rid of this air gap at the bottom because that could present an issue later on down the line. There we go, looking great in here. Now let's do the Aglaonema, and holy cow, this thing was stuck at the bottom, but these roots are insane. Luckily, this was in a super duper chunky mix, almost like a dirty sphagnum. I think it was just sphagnum moss, orchid bark, and perlite, so it was fairly easy to get off of the roots because it was so chunky. Like I mentioned earlier, putting a layer of semi-hydro on the bottom of this one is super important because these are soil roots as opposed to water roots. So I've put like 1/3 of the pot's worth of semi-hydro in the bottom before even thinking about putting the plant in. And it was really hard to figure this out because the roots were so dense. So I did a kind of weird thing and decided to pour semi-hydro into the roots and then try and like jam it in. I think it did work a little bit, but it was definitely not the easiest of methods, and I did get semi-hydro all over the place, so it was a good thing I had a potting mat down. From there, it was just a whole lot of little bit of semi-hydro, little bit of shaking to try and really get it in between the roots as much as possible, leave as few air gaps as I possibly could. I used the trellis a little bit at some parts, but with these roots, I really didn't want to mess with them too much. But I eventually got there, and I am actually really happy with the results of how both of these look. I think they look phenomenal in here. I find it really satisfying to watch water go into a new no drainage vessel, but I filled this one about a third of the way up. This is the one with water roots, so it doesn't matter too much. I only filled the Aglaonema up like a quarter of the way. And then back into the cabinet they both go. Sorted my mic out now, but it is dark. These short days are absolutely killing me. I think I'm just going to edit for the rest of the day, and yeah, I'm done for now. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I did my plant chores. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope maybe you got some plant chores done for yourself as well. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up down below and leave a comment on other houseplanty things you'd like me to talk about in the future. If you want updates on any of these things down the line, let me know and I can make that happen for you, and subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you in the next one. Do not forget to keep growing. Bye!